All praises to the Most High. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Pharaohtist and welcome to Kush Culture. Today, I hope you guys had a great week. It's the weekend and I'm hoping everything goes well for you this week. But I just want to do a quick video. Today, this video is going to be called Curse Be Canaan. It's coming out of Genesis chapter 9, verse 25. Let's get it. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you guys stopping by on a Friday. Today is gonna be a pretty good video. It's not gonna be long, but I think it's gonna be strong. And I want to talk about the curse Be Canaan. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Genesis 9. Make sure I got everything working. Hold on a minute, please. Want to make sure I got everything working the way it's supposed to be. Okay. I hope everybody's doing well today. Everybody's having a good weekend so far. Just started, so Friday comes by so quickly. Every time you look up, it's Friday again. So I don't know. All right, so let me go ahead and get into this. All right, we're gonna start with Genesis chapter 9. Okay, we're talking about Curse Be Canaan. The reason why I wanted to talk about Curse Be Canaan is because when I did my last video, when I did the Moses and Akhenaten video, the 3-part series, when you start researching, you wind up coming up with more questions about some things, and as I was researching Moses and Akhenaten, something just started coming to mind that I probably need to do some more videos on. And once I get done with this one, I already know what my next video is going to be based on the research I've done for this one. So it's just going to be an ongoing thing. But at the end of the day, I do want to say this. My goal is to present an opportunity for you to learn. You know, we've been going through this for so many years. Everyone is telling us about Christianity. I'm not saying you should be a Christian or you shouldn't be a Christian. You be whatever you need or want to be. God made us, create us as individuals. However, we choose where we want to go. We choose religion, we choose faith, we choose whatever it is we want to choose. But God created us individuals, and we go the direction that we feel fit for us. However, when we came over here, we didn't have a choice. But now that people are waking up, we're becoming more aware of who we may be or who we should be, and we know who we are not, but it took us a long time to get there. So I wanted this channel again to be something different than what other people were talking about. It's not a BS channel. I got a lot of books. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of research and do a lot of studying, and I'm going to use the Bible to justify my curiosity. The Bible is what people seem to use to justify the things that they do. So I figure I'm going to open up the windows of opportunity to justify and or explain and or come to a conclusion. And maybe you can come to the same conclusion also. But at the end of the day, I want you to think. These videos are going to prompt thought. Okay, it's going to prompt thought, and hopefully we can come to the same conclusion. However, I do want to say this. Now, my research, I use the Bible, I use common sense, and I come up with a conclusion. Okay, so to me, I find as people become more and more awake and more aware, things become more apparent. And as things become more apparent, that's when all the question marks come up. So one of the questions I have here, and then at the end of this video, you might have another question, and if we're on the same page, we're probably going to conclude the same thing, and it's going to prompt me to do another video on the conclusion I'm going to draw today. So let's get into the video real quick. I hope everything's going well. I hope you guys are having a great day. And by the time you see this video, it's 11:14. I'm doing a video because I gotta head out to work tomorrow morning, and you guys are probably not even watching this now. I don't even have that many subscribers, but I'm going to do my video as if I have 1 million subscribers, because at the end of the day, I have people come back later on my videos, and they look at my videos, they send me emails and stuff like that. Sometimes they don't even respond, but I get a lot of emails. The good thing is, I had one video comment that they emailed me, and they told me I did a good job on one of my videos, and on my last video, actually. In the last video, I came up with a lot of research, and this individual told me how well I did on it, and it made me feel good. It didn't prompt this one because by the time I found out about it, I was like, wow, I was already into this video. So this is why we do it, because if you get one person to come to some type of conclusion, or you raise that question mark and they start wondering and start thinking and start researching for themselves, then the mission is completed. So let's get started. So I'm going to read. So today's topic is Curse Be Canaan. Curse Be Canaan. And everyone talks about the Hebrews and the black people are from Ham, and God cursed them, and that's why they're black, and that's why their hair is nappy and kinky and all kind of stuff. But let's just see if that's really true. So I'm going to start reading here. It says, and Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine, and he was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers throughout. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon their shoulders, and went backward, covering the nakedness of their father, backward, and they saw not the father's nakedness. Let me turn this volume down a little bit. And they saw his father's nakedness. And Noah woke from his wine, because Noah was drunk. He just got off the boat with all them animals, and his family probably driving him crazy. And we finally got off onto dry land, he probably got drunk and said, I'm on dry land again. All these animals getting on my nerve, my family. And he got drunk. And he got so drunk he passed out, and he wasn't aware of he was naked. But his brothers were, and two of his sons covered him up. They didn't look at him, but they covered him up. But one did. So let me continue. And Noah woke from his wine and knew when Noah woke from his wine and knew that his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brother. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And it said, Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and then he died. Okay, so the beginning is Noah was on the boat for 6 months. That's when the flood was supposed to have happened. He got off the boat, all the animals, his family, dry land, and just being gone, and going through all kind of stuff. He got drunk, and so now we're going to go through the curse based on his son looking at his father's shame when he was drunk. Okay. The reason why I chose to go to the research this way is I want to walk you all the way to the end. So now we look at the genealogy of Noah. We look at Shem on the top, we look at Japheth, and we see Ham. Okay, so the line of Shem, as you can see, goes all the way down here, all the way down to Terah, which Terah is Abraham's father. All right, and then you have Japheth and his family, and you have Ham and their family. They Cushites, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. I'm a Cushite because I'm from Nubia. So I got other maps. Maybe I think I had that you can see how it's itemized or who's who. But so we're going to go ahead. So we're going to see we got Ham, and we got up here we have Shem. Okay, so when we go down to Shem, we got Terah, and we have Abraham, and you're going to see Abraham had Keturah, and you're going to have his other wife was Sarah. Well, his first wife was Sarah, and Keturah was one of the other women that he had children with. And you can see Sarah, you're going to see Isaac and Jacob, all the way down to the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so I want to walk you all the way through that. And then you go again here, you see you see Ham, and they're not highlighted whatsoever. They just a group of people that I guess not as important as Terah and Abraham, because this is the line onto Christ and the line onto the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're going to go over to the next part, and this is Genesis again, chapter 11. In Genesis chapter 11, we're going to talk about Terah. And Terah took Abraham, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth unto the of the Chaldeans. They go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. Okay, so I have Abraham's journey here. As you can see, Abraham's journey to Egypt, and it's going to be Jacob's flight. These are some of the paths that were taken at different times. This happens to be the highlight of Abraham's journey when he started here in the land of and wound up in Haran prior to, and he camped his tent there, as they said. Let me go back and see. Genesis, he said he went from the of Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan, and he came to Haran and he dwelt there. So we don't know how long he stayed there, but he was there for quite some time before he came into the land of Canaan. Now this is an older map. I have another one here. Well, this is the oldest one, and you can see how the names changed as time goes on. This is on one of the older maps, and you can see Haran up here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I don't know how to make it to light it up, but you can see Haran here, and he started down here in Chaldees, down here at the bottom. I'm at the bottom right hand corner. This is where Abraham started out at with his family, and he went to Haran at the top here, right before the Cyrus here, and he wound up coming down where it says Seir at right now, and came on down, and he landed into Canaan. Let me see if I have another map. Now you can see this is the Mediterranean Sea over here. This says Great Sea, but it's the Mediterranean Sea. And you have Egypt here, and you have Damascus, and you have Haran up here, and you can see where he started and wound up down here in Damascus into the land of Canaan. Okay, so when he gets to the land of Canaan, it says, and Abraham took Sarah his wife and Lot his brother's son and all their substance, and they gathered and the souls and that they had gotten in Haran. So they leave Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. Let me open this up so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, and the Lord appeared unto Abram. He's already had his name changed, so now he's Abram. And the Lord appeared unto Abram. Now, I didn't read the whole thing. I'm just highlighting the areas that I thought is prominent. But you can always go back and read the whole story if you want to. If you already know it, then that's great. If not, you can read the whole story. That way you have a better understanding. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed I will give this land, and there build he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed thence unto the mountain in the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. Now he's in Canaan now. Now remember, in the beginning, the Lord said, "Cursed be Canaan." All right, so he said, "Cursed be Canaan," and we got the line of Canaan, which Canaan is down here. He's through the line of Ham, okay, and then Shem is Abraham, which is highlighted in red. So now we're talking about Canaan, and we have Abraham, and Abraham is in the land of Canaan, and he's getting ready to pitch a tent and create a altar unto the Most High. Okay. So now he's going to create an altar unto the Most High. Now, the reason why I decided to do this video is because I couldn't understand if God cursed Canaan in the beginning of Abraham. In the beginning, we're talking about Noah. We talk about Noah getting off the boat after the flood. It's the beginning of all time. It's the beginning of the Abraham being the father of Judah. He said, "Cursed be Canaan." Okay, so now we in Canaan. And guess what happened? So now Abraham was in Canaan. God already changed his name to Abram. So when Abraham arrived in Canaan, he was still unsure what it was that the Lord had promised. When Abraham arrived in Canaan, he was still unsure that it was the land that God promised to become his own. Yet Abraham was full with great joy upon setting foot on the land. He even noticed that a number of people were devoted to cultivating the land and making it richer. Thus he prayed that this land, even if only a portion of it, will soon become his own. Let me open this up so I can see it too. It's late and I'm tired. It was right at the moment when God told Abraham that this land was his, when he began rejoicing and thanking the Lord for his blessing. Overwhelming with happiness, Abraham decided to set an altar and show his reverence and gratitude to God. He also raised a few other altars in some places, including Hebron and Ai, with the hopes that these places of worship will bring good tidings to the people of each land. As Abraham lived in his new land, he was able to live in harmony with himself and the people around him. He continued to become a blessing to others, and God continued to reward him for his great love and trust in his commands. Now, when you read that, it's so wonderful. He's in this new land. Everyone is happy. He's there. Everyone's looking forward to cultivating the land. And he said he became a blessing, and he continued to become a blessing to others. And God continued to reward him for his great love and trust to his commands. And it says here, as Abraham lived in this new land, he was able to live in harmony with himself and the people around him. Now, I was wondering where the curse came in at. That, number one, God said, "Curse be Canaan." Now here he is in the land of Canaan. I mean, everyone says that the Canaan, he has Canaanites and they live in the land of Canaan, and then you have the Israelites saying this is Gab, this is Judah's land, and everybody has their own designation. So now you have Abraham in Canaan, the place that's supposed to have been cursed. And he said he lived in harmony with himself and the people around him, and everyone's excited and they're overwhelmed and they're living in harmony, and they're also cultivating the land and getting prepared for whatever it is that God wants Abraham to do while he's there. And the land was there for him to use. So far so good, right? But I'm just wondering where the curse came in at, because at the end of the day, I don't see it yet. And here we're talking about Genesis 21. This is when Isaac was born. Now, Isaac was born in Canaan. Genesis 21. What is this? Genesis 21, chapter 21, verse 21. And the Lord visited Sarah, and he had said, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time on which God had spoken unto him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, name was Isaac. Let me highlight this so you can see what I'm reading. His name was Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, and God had commanded him. And now Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. She said, who would have said to Abraham and Sarah would nurse children, for I have borne him a son in his old age. Now you have Noah's son Ham, grandson, which will be his son's son. Let me see. Noah's son Ham, his grandson, which is Canaan, to be cursed. Now Abraham's there. He pitched his tent there. He's getting along with everybody there. Everyone's living in harmony, and God's blessing him there. And now they done had a son at 100 years old. Now Isaac is born there. So you got Abraham, Isaac, and we're gonna get on to Jacob. Okay, so here's a chronology of the births of Jacob's children and by Leah and their handmaid. So you can see where Jacob was born, right? In Canaan. He lived in Canaan. Genesis 29, 30 and 24. The birth of Jacob's children were born in Canaan. Everybody was born in Canaan. I think I got a map here how long they've been there. They've been there over 33 years. 77 altogether, but Cain and Jacob was there for 33 years. And then Jacob moved to Egypt for 17 years. But they were in the land of Canaan. Now, why would God curse a place? And then everyone that's going through the line of Jacob and further into the line of Jesus Christ, they're all coming from a cursed part of history. But everyone seems to be living in harmony. I don't understand why would the Lord say he's going to curse this place, and then everyone that he needs to get to where they need to go is coming out of this place, coming out of Canaan. Even the 12 tribes coming out of Canaan. As you can see in Genesis 29:31 and Genesis 30:24. And if you look at the chronology here, you can see all the ages and what age they were, famine, all in the land of Canaan. Now we're at Genesis chapter 45. We're going to go up here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And this is okay. This is I love this story here. This is about when Joseph. Let me just say the story. And for those who don't know the story, you might want to read the story of Joseph. It's a great story. It's something that it's a moving story, especially when they find out his brother is still alive. Okay, I'm gonna read it. It says, now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brothers have come. So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, say to your brothers, do this. Load your animals and depart, go to Canaan. Bring your father and your household and come to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded to do this. Take carts out of the land of Egypt and go. Take the carts out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and your wives. Bring your fathers and come. Also, do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of the land of Egypt is yours. Then the sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them carts according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave to all of them, to each man, changes of garments, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. Now, Benjamin is Joseph's brother. He's the youngest brother of Joseph from his father Jacob, who married Rachel. Rachel is the wife that he worked 14 years for with his uncle Laban. Because he loved Rachel, he wanted to marry Rachel, and Rachel had 2 children, Joseph and Benjamin. And when she had Benjamin, she died. So Benjamin was his only true brother, even though he had other brothers with the wives of Leah. Jacob had another wife called Leah, where she had, I think, 8 of the other boys from the tribe. Or maybe, I think she had 8 and 1 daughter. But Benjamin was his sole brother from his same mother and same father, basically. And he thought Benjamin was dead, and Benjamin got the most because that's his brother. So he's sending for his brother. He gave his brother 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. And he loves his brother. And when he found out he was alive, he was so excited. And he sent to his father these things: 10 donkeys loaded with goods. He sent to his father these things: 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, and food for his father for the journey. So let me let you see this real quick. I'm going to try to get to this map. Let me see if I have a better map. I thought I had a better map. Let me see if I can find a better map. Okay, this might be one. Let me see. Let me see if I can put in. I'm trying to. I thought I had this thing here. Jacob. Okay, yeah. So Jacob's flight. I'm looking for Joseph. What I'm looking for is Joseph journey to Canaan. Maybe I can get another map of that. And you can see why he had to send so many animals and grain, because it's not a it's I think it's 200 miles. It's not a. Let me see here. Here it is. He had to go back to Canaan to get Joseph's brother traveled from Hebron to Zoar. Yeah, it's about 200 miles. He went back up to Canaan, get his brothers, and bring him back down to Egypt. So that's why they had to have so many. What did they have? They sent with his father these things, 10 donkeys and 10 donkeys, 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, or food, because it's going to take. It's 400 miles. It might take maybe a month or so to get up there and back. When they walking, so I don't know how long it would take. I don't know the terrain, but I'm sure it's going to take a minute. So that's the reason why they made sure they had enough food and they had enough grain and everything they need to get up there and come all the way back. So he sent his brothers away, and they departed. And he said to them, "See that you do not come troubled along the way." Then when they went up out of Egypt, they came to the land of Canaan, to Jacob, their father, and they told him, saying, "Joseph is still alive. He is the governor of all in the land of Egypt." And Jacob's heart stood still. Can you imagine? Now let me just tell you the story. I don't think I said it. For those who don't know the story, it's good for you to read this chapter and maybe the chapter before that, so you have an idea of what really happened. But I'm gonna summarize real quick. What happened was Jacob is the father of Joseph in the 12 tribes. He's the father of the 12 tribes. Those are all his sons. But Joseph is now the governor, considered the governor of all the land of Egypt. Okay. But he thought his son was dead because those other brothers, his other 10 brothers, sold him into slavery. So when they sold him to slavery, they came back with the coat of many colors. And the coat of many colors is the coat that Jacob gave his son, because that was his favorite son. But if you listen to the story about Jacob and Esau, Esau was the favorite son of Isaac, and Jacob was the favorite son of his mother. So, and now Joseph is the favorite son of Joseph is the favorite son of Jacob, which he should have learned from what happened before. And that's the reason why Jacob and Esau was always at a battle. But that's another story. Anyway, so when Jacob found out his son was alive, he was elated. His 10 other sons, which is Joseph's brother, sold him into slavery, took his jacket because they were jealous of him. They were jealous of him because Joseph has the ability to dream dreams, and he told his brother the dream that he had. And the dream that he had was he was going to rule over them. And since those brothers were older than Joseph, they didn't see how that was going to be possible. They were jealous of him. That he said it wasn't going to have no way that's going to be done. So they sold him for 30 shekels into slavery. And they went back home with the coat of many colors with blood on it. So when they showed the coat to Jacob, which was his father, Jacob really believed his son was dead. So he held on to Benjamin, who was the only son left by the wife he really loved, which was Rachel. He held on to Benjamin for dear life. Now this is the second part. This highlighted area is the second journey. Actually, this is the last journey back to Canaan, because the brothers went twice. This is the last journey, and now when he found out his brother is alive, because the first 2 times they went, they didn't know that was his brother. They was getting ready to go through a famine, and they didn't know that was his brother. But Joseph knew they were his brothers, but they didn't know Joseph was the brother. That's another video I'm going to do on that one too. Not only I'm going to do a video on that, on Joseph being in Egypt, And I'm also going to do another story on those 10 brothers selling his brother into slavery. Okay, I'm going to do another video on that. And I'm going to open up another door that is going to close some other doors. I'm going to open up this door. When I open up this door on this video, it's going to close all the other doors that people are leaving open, and it's going to seal it. I'm going to seal that door. I'm not going to say it today, but probably in another 2 weeks, I'm going to come back. When I come back from where I'm a truck driver, so when I get back, I'm going to do another video. And I'm going to close this door, and I'm going to close another door about them people being in Egypt. All right, anyway, so when Joseph got sold into slavery, the 10 other boys, which are part of the 12 tribes of Israel, they went back home, took the coat of many colors, showed it to Jacob. Jacob apparently was crying because he thought his favorite son was dead because his brothers tricked him. Jacob tricked his brother back when Esau was his brother. Jacob tricked him. His mother told him to do it, and he did it. He was a grown man, so he should have known better, but he did it anyway because he wanted the blessing. Okay, so now his brothers tricked him. His sons tricked him the same way he tricked his brother. So anyway, Jacob thought his son was dead, and now, as you can see, they came back and saying, Joseph is still alive. He's the governor of all the land of Egypt. Jacob's heart stood still. Why? Because he thought his son was dead. According to his brothers, according to his sons, he told him that his brother was dead. He got ate by wolves or whatever because they had blood on the jacket. And because he did not believe him, it says Jacob's heart stood still because he did not believe them. But when he told them all the words which Joseph said unto them, then he saw the carts which Joseph had sent to carry him, and the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived. Then Israel said, Israel is Jacob. God changed his name to Israel. That's why it says, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived. Then it said, then Israel said, and Israel is Jacob, because God changed his name. It is enough. Joseph, my son, is still alive. I will go see him before I die. Isn't that amazing? When you read this whole story, it's so amazing. And I'm telling you, and then it's just a real nice story. Too bad well, I'm not gonna go into the details, but it's a good story, especially if you want to believe what's going on in the Bible. It's a good story for the future, even for today. It's a real nice story. But anyway, so now they're in the land of Canaan right now, where I showed you on this map. They're still in the land of Canaan, and they've been there for years. Where's the map at? You can see they've been in there for years, for 33 years, and now he's on his way to Egypt, and he's going to live there for 17 years. Okay? He's going to live there for 17 years. So the question is, why did God curse Canaan? Why did the Most High? Why does the Bible say that God cursed Canaan and everyone lives in Canaan? Everybody who's prominent in the Bible, who has anything to do with anything or anyone in the Bible, it all starts there in Canaan. Now, why would God curse Canaan and everyone's there? Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes come out of Canaan. And then what did Abraham say when he was in the land of Canaan? Let me see if I can go back and find it. And let me read this whole thing again. Upon reaching Canaan, when Abraham arrived in Canaan, he was still unsure that it was a land that God promised to become his own. Yet Abraham was filled with joy upon setting foot into the land. He even noticed that a number of his people were devoted to cultivating the land and making it richer. Thus he prayed that this land, even if it was a portion of it, would soon be his own. It was right at the moment when God told Abraham that this is the land that this land was his. when he began rejoicing and thanking God for this blessing. Overwhelmed with happiness, Abraham decided to set an altar to show his reverence and gratitude to God. He also raised a few other altars in some places, including Hebron and Ai, with the hopes that these places of worship would bring good tidings to the people of each land. As Abraham lived in his new land, he was able to live in harmony with himself and the people around him. He continued to become a blessing to others, and God continued to reward him for his great love and trust in his commands. That's a great story. And I want to show you one more picture that's going to make you think. I'm sorry about that other. Now this is Israel's exodus from Egypt to the promised land. And guess where the promised land is? It's in Canaan. The promised land is in Canaan. Cursed be Canaan. Right? Cursed be Canaan. And here you got the Exodus from Egypt into the land of Canaan. So you have to ask yourself, was Canaan really cursed? And if so, by who? Is the story true that God cursed Canaan? Yet the 12 tribes of Israel came from Canaan. The promised land is in Canaan. Noah's son Ham's grandson named Canaan was supposed to have been cursed. The Canaanites were supposed to have been cursed. But Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, all in the promised land are all in Canaan. Now where they do that at? If you have any questions or doubt about this video, please drop a comment down below. Maybe we put our two heads together and come up with a conclusion. But as you can see, if the promised land is in Canaan, the same land that's supposed to have been cursed, makes you wonder. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks for stopping by. Please like and share. Leave a comment, leave an email, and we'll get back to you. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to get back to me. I don't mind answering as much as I can. Now I do work, and I may not better get to your comment on time, but I will respond. And I appreciate you stopping by. Enjoy your weekend. All praises.